What up, everybody? It's your girl July from Kickback Couture. A lot of y'all are sending me videos of people making UK drill beats in FL Studio, and you want to know how to get your 808 slides like them in Reason. So I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. Alright, let's get straight into it. So I'll play what I have so far, and then we're gonna add the bass. All right, I'm gonna go to mute the kick though. Let's go. All right, cool. So all of these drums I use are in my new drum kit, Drill Gang. Go ahead and cop that. If you need some drill sounds. Let's go ahead and add an 808 over here to the left. Now, what's cool about the 808s in this kit is that they are set to automatically last forever, if that makes any sense. If you drag them into an NN19 or NN19 and you press the key, it will play until you let go. It'll last as long as you hold the note, unless you change the settings. So what I'm gonna do is use I'm gonna use an NN19 for the 808. And the reason I'm using an NN19 is because I'll tell you in a second. All right, let's go ahead and grab an 808, and I want to use we'll grab this one. All right, cool. So I'm gonna press a note on this, and I'm just holding it down, and it doesn't stop. So that's the point I was trying to make, as far as when you hold down the note, it keeps going. But let's go ahead and jump into the settings and what you need to set them to. So we're gonna turn polyphony down to 1, similar to what you see me do with the NNXT. And then we're gonna put it on legato. This is so that the notes will slide into the other. All right, otherwise it'll sound like this. And we want it to be smooth because that's what 808 slide or 808 glide is. Now this Portamento knob is gonna be important because it's going to allow us to automate how fast or slow we're sliding into the next note. That's what it all the way up. Now you wouldn't ideally do that. Doesn't sound good, but we're going to right click it, hit edit automation, and it's going to create a lane right here for us, and we'll get to that in a second, but just leave that there. Now these already have the key labeled on them, so you can just change it to the key. Otherwise you need to set the pitch correctly. Now the reason I'm using the NN19 and not the NNXT is because we cannot automate the Portamento on the NNXT. These buttons in here aren't automatable. Automatable? Yeah, whatever the word is. I think that's correct. You can't automate any of these buttons, right? So we want it to work without us messing with it. That's why I'm using the NN19. And then you might ask, okay, well, why aren't you using grain? Well, if we use grain, then we won't be able to loop the sample like this. It won't play all the way through when we hold the note like this. Why? Because it's called grain. It takes granular samples of things. And we're going to draw this out. We probably won't have a pattern this long, but if we do, we do. And this beat is in C sharp. So let's go ahead. It's in grid mode. Awesome. Gonna zoom out a little bit. We'll add the first note. Let's go ahead and put this on a I want to bring that up and bring this an octave down. So I just pressed Command Shift and up to move them octaves up and down. Alright, so that's the basis. And then we want rolls. I want rolls in these areas right here, these 4 areas. And I want this note to play right here. Alright, cool. So let's focus on this first area right here, where I want to roll here. So let's go ahead and add another note, maybe an octave up. Add an A. I want it to be longer. And I'm gonna split this note right here because I want it to restart. Now, if you notice, we don't hear much of a slide right there. So that's that note, and that's that note. We hear it a little bit, but not much. So what we're gonna do is draw a little clip here in the Portamento area, and we're gonna change how much. Let's go about 57 and see what it sounds like. Much better, right? And then right here, I want it to go like dun 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 dun. So in this area right here, let's see what that would look like in my head. Like over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll do maybe a different note though. So yeah, that's more than I wanted in my head. 1, 2, 3, 4. Short notes, hold down Alt to copy those over. Now what note do I want? Alright, yeah, so we'll go back down to this note. Alright, so this is a note here, an octave up. I'm gonna put a note here. It's an octave up from that. And then let's try to go, maybe we do like a double here. And we go up like that. And I'll split this up so that it slides again. Now with this one, we definitely need to automate that Portamento, right? And it's not gonna be the same value as this one, most likely, which is about, let's see. This point is at 54. So let's see where a good point for this second area will be if I stop sliding the wrong way. Okay. We'll start about there. Definitely want it lower or higher. Alright, I'm gonna put two different selections here. So we're gonna keep that one there for that end section. Let's bring this up to about 70. Nope, that's too sloppy. And you'll get the hang of this once you keep going and what amounts you might need for the speed. There we go. So a little lower. Now, if you notice, like when you play the keys and the Portamento's all the way down, it kind of has an automatic slide anyways. So even when the Portamento knob is all the way down, it still has that slide to it. So you don't need too much. All right, now let's do the next section. So I want to go down to this note. All right. We could do a little quick slide in this area. Let's come up. And it doesn't have to be in the beginning. You could do it on the second half. And then we can make that slower. So we'll draw a little clip here and bring the Portamento up. Dope. And then for this part, I actually want to do triplets. So gonna go into 1/8 triplet mode and dope, perfect. Duplicate that over. All right, and we're gonna do some slides here too. So let's try this. Wrong spot for this one. Cool, and let's create a little Portamento automation clip right here. Drop that down. Maybe bring it down a little bit more. Let's see. Faster. That's a little too fast. All right, cool. Another thing y'all see a lot of people do in tutorials from the videos y'all sent me is pan the 808s. Now you can do that 100%. I'll also show y'all how to do this in the synth, but I know a lot of y'all use 808 samples, so give me a second. All right, so we're gonna come up to the mix channel for the 808, and we're gonna right click on edit automation on the pan knob. And you'll see it is right above the NN19. Did I call it an NN19? Whoops. Sorry. All right, cool. And let's figure out where we want to pan. So another thing we could do right here with this velocity is actually bring it down. So in order to do that, we'll hold down Option and Control at the same time. Sorry, Option and Command, and we'll drag this down. And let's listen to that. And what we need to do is turn up the velocity sensitivity, and that will be this amp knob right here, which is all the way down. If it's all the way down, then your velocity stuff won't work. Cool little effect. Bring it up a little bit, and then let's get back to that panning we were talking about. And let's pan the end of it from left to right. So I believe left is the top. And then we'll cut the clip and erase this so it's not to the left the whole time. And I'm just gonna reverse this because I forgot down is left. Now, unfortunately, Reason doesn't support MPE, which is MIDI polyphonic expression. That means you could pan each note separate from the other. I'll definitely request that. Okay, now that you know how to do this with the NN19, which is something that everyone has available to them, whether you're using the cracked version of Reason 5, you're still on Reason 10, or you decided to jump the gun and get Reason 11. So I'm going to go ahead and mute this, and let's go ahead and use a synth. All right, so I'm going to use Europa for the purpose of, I got some dope drums, some dope 808 drums I made in it, so that's why I want to use it. Let's go ahead and drag this in. So this one has a really harsh attack, which I can bring it up by clicking on this button here. Bringing this knob up, this slider. Yeah, that'll be perfect. Now, in order to set this up, it's similar to the NN19 grain. Anything I've ever shown you, it's just in a different place. So for this Portamento, you're going to make sure it's on, and the key mode is going to be on legato. It already was, and this is the Portamento knob at 50%. So we're going to right click it and hit edit automation. All right, so let's actually go ahead and use the same 808 pattern here. Alright, you see how scary that sounds. Unfortunately, we can't copy the Portamento from the NN19 because they're two different devices. So we're just going to go in and create new Portamento automations. Gonna start at 0 and let's listen. And let's also turn it down because alright, let's bring this down. It's down to 0 because I pulled it down, so it'll be at default and not 50% because it sounded weird on everything. We might want to come up some more on this. Yep, I like how that sounded. And we'll draw another clip over here for this area. See how that sounded like, never mind. And that was too slow. Let's bring it down. All right, let's bring it all the way up and see what it sounds like. Oh, if you go too high, you'll notice how weird it sounds. Bring it back down. That's better. And that was too fast, so let's bring this up. Probably not 65. There we go. This definitely needs some work. Let's bring that out. Put it about here to start. Alright, cool. That sounds better to me. Let's listen to the beginning, from the beginning. Alright, the only one I'm not really feeling is this one here. So let's go in and listen again and see what's up. Alright, cool. That sounds good. When you have different 808s, you might have to go in and change things. Hey, that is everything I wanted to show y'all today. If you would like me to make a full UK drill beat tutorial again, let me know. I'm sure it'll come out way better than the one I did before because that was like, I don't know. I think that came out before we were all quarantined and stuck in our houses. And I've had a lot of time to make a lot of beats, so I'm sure it'll be better. Alright. Anyways, it's all culture. Kick back, cook up, grab that Drill Gang drum kit and the Beast 808s refill. Alright, deuces.